What a fantastic crowd. Thanks for everybody for coming out. And of course, thank you for volunteering. We asked everyone to get together tonight and we asked why. Well, there's a couple of things. First of all, our main goal is to say thank you. And to come out and have some muffins and some coffee and socialize and express our deepest thanks for volunteering. Without the volunteers, the games would not be possible. As you know, as you probably appreciate, there's thousands of hours of volunteers all the time already got into planning. Secondly, it's an opportunity to get everyone organized and oriented and also pick up your game shirt. Thirdly, we want to announce the patron of the games tonight. So that's going to be done. And fourthly, we want to basically give any information that the volunteers need. So we're going to, the agenda is very short. I'm just going to introduce Susan Hull, who's going to announce the patron of the games. And then I'm going to introduce Caroline Frost, who's the host committee rep for the volunteer committee. And she's going to do a little short presentation about some of the goals of what we're trying to do for volunteers. Thirdly, we'll have Brad Pitcher, who's going to say a few things. And lastly, we'll have just a question and answer session. So we've got a fair number of the host committee here. So any questions you have about the games, you can ask the host committee members how it's going to operate, that kind of thing. I'll explain that why that is, and why we actually come here tonight. In 2012, the Clarenville Harbour Grace hosted the summer games, and we did a session with all the people who went from Clarenville to Clarenville Harbour Grace, asking how they found it, what they found good about it, what they found bad about it. And one of the comments they had was, the people there were really friendly, all the volunteers were really friendly, but they didn't really know much about what was going on when you asked them a question. They didn't seem to know what the answer was or even how to get the answer. So what we said was, well, let's get everyone together here tonight, and so if you don't know the answer, you'll know where to get the answer. And so you'll know the key people to call, and we have a volunteer, Caroline's playing, we have a volunteer handbook with all the names of people and key contact numbers to call people, if people come up with a question and not sure how to answer it. So it is a very important information session, so I don't want to underestimate the question and answer period. It's an opportunity for you to ask questions. Some people in this room have spent hundreds and hundreds of hours already volunteering the games and can speak for hours on it. And other people don't know a thing of what's going on and just want to get involved. So from that person's point of view, the new person, you're in the same position as someone coming to Clarenville next week and taking part in the game. You don't know where to go, what to do, what's going to happen. So feel free to ask any questions you want. So without further ado, I'm going to ask Susan Hull to come forward and make the announcement of the patron of the games.
Thank you, Greg. Greg, I don't think introduced himself. Of course, that's Greg Pittman, and he chairs the host committee of the games, and he's definitely someone who's put in thousands of hours in volunteer work to do this. It's really appropriate that we announce the patrons of the games at Volunteer Night because they epitomize what it is to be a volunteer in sport. And Brad, can you put on slides? Thank you. I've got a couple of slides, so we'll go right to the first one. So first of all, what is a patron of the games? Next slide. I have 3 assistants up there. And keep going. No? So, I don't think in 1994 we had patrons of the games. We did. Oh, it was right, Mr. Gladney. This year when we looked at it, we said, well, what do we want to accomplish for the patrons of the games? So what is the role? It's very much a recognition, so it's ceremonial. They're ambassadors for the games, they're ambassadors for the volunteers. They might do things like, start off games, start races, drop pucks, at the beginning award medals, and they're present at the opening and closing ceremonies. So it's not like a working job, it's very much a recognition and a ceremonial job. Next slide. Thank you. So what does it take to be a patron? First of all, you've got to be involved in winter sports, to be involved in the winter games, to be a patron of the winter games. Your sports activities have to be focused on developing that sport in Clarenville area. You have to be a leader, and everything it takes to be a leader. So sometimes that means sitting in meeting after meeting, lots of executive meetings. It means having difficult conversations with people, and it means having a vision for where that sport can go. It means participant development. So you're looking at young people, you're looking at older people, getting new people involved in the sport and how the sport evolves. You're looking at it from both a recreation and a competitive aspect. So from having people from all around the province come in and have races to getting Jane and Joe Q public out and getting active. It also means that you have to have been involved in the sport for a significant period of time. And finally, we decided this year that we would have both a male and a female patron of the games. So the way we selected our patrons is, first of all, like we did almost everything in these games, whether it was the theme song or the logo or whatever, we had a public call for nominations, and we got nominations into the committee. And we had a subcommittee, so it was myself and Rod Nickel and Todd Organ, who are all on the host committee. And we got together and went through the nominations, and we made a recommendation to the host committee, and the host committee made a decision. So on that, I don't have a drum, but drum roll is, I'm delighted to say that our patrons of the 2014 Newfoundland Labrador Winter Games are June Mills. Most people in this room, they know June and Corwin all to bits, and they know everything they've done. But I'm just going to take a couple of slides and just highlight a few things. So I'll start with June. June has been instrumental in the development of young athletes, in particular in cross-country skiing. And you can talk to the Natalie Moody's and the Paula Roberts and some of the others who, dryland training in her basement and all that stuff for cross-country skiing. She's also an avid snowshoe enthusiast. She's been, she and Corwin together in 1973, I think, with a group of outdoor enthusiasts, many of whom are sitting with them up there now, got together and decided that Clarenville needed a Nordic ski club. And that was 41 years ago. And in that time, many people in this room have experienced the Nordic Ski Club for the cross-country skiing, but it's also, in the last few years, been stretched to snowshoeing, and that's made the Nordic Club grow tremendously. It's brought in a bunch of different people. I think we have over 400 people in the club now, and June and Corwin are both instrumental in that. They've been on the executive, I think, probably every year for the last 40 years. And there has not been an event go by that they haven't been involved in. So June was recognized 2 or 3 weeks ago for her contributions to the club and to the snowshoeing in particular by having the new snowshoe trail named after her. That's her in the middle course, and then Corwin in the background. And I just want to say, like, June is the type of person who epitomizes the joy of sport and the joy of having other people discover the joy of sport. And I've seen her sacrifice her own ski or snowshoe or run to make sure that the person who's lagging behind, that they have a good ski or snowshoe or run. And then, of course, we have Corwin, who's the one CBC Radio always says, and I love it, when they talk about, they moan and groan that I'll get 20 centimeters of snow coming. But I know Corwin Mills is listening out in Clarenville, so if I don't say that's a good thing, then he'll call in. And that's indicative of the type of leadership and advocacy that Corwin is known for. Whether it's helping, working with others to keep the downhill facility here, developing all manner of our trails, both alpine, new facilities for alpine, the magic carpet, all the proposals, all the meetings, all that stuff. Everybody works on that, and he's been instrumental in a lot of it. Things like the huts and having Harry's Trail groomed has been a big part of it, to be lit. You go in there at night and there's so many people enjoying skiing and snowshoeing at night that otherwise wouldn't be out without the vision and the hard work to do it. So there's lots more I could say. The fact that they're a couple was not the reason that they were picked, but it does epitomize how so many volunteers work. You know, it's not just one, it's always two. So, on behalf of everybody, I'm June and Corwin, you come forward, please. We have a little ceremonial shirt with you.
Congratulations, June and Cor, a very deserving patron of the game for sure. Now I'm going to ask Caroline Frost to come forward. She's going to have a little presentation as well. While she got up there, I'll make it keep it more short. I do want to introduce the host committee. Let people know, that gives you an idea then who you need to contact. It'll be in your manual as well. But as Susan said, I'm Greg, chair. Jill Monk, she's the vice chair and is in charge of the opening and closing ceremonies, the VIP receptions, the torch relay, and the medals. Susan Hull is the secretary. Todd Organ is the treasurer. Heber Smith is in charge of results and registration. Dustin Russell is in charge of transportation. Gary Goss is on the committee as ex officio town rep. Todd Cole is on the board as ex officio town rep. Ron Nichols on the board as a municipal representative, and he's also chair of Sport Newfoundland and Labrador. Craig Party is in charge of accommodations. Dennis Sullivan is in charge of entertainment. Mark Balsam is in charge of security. Caroline Frost, volunteers. Richard Churchill, media relations. Glenn Smith, Glenn's a Sport Newfoundland and Labrador employee. He's our technical rep from St. John's, who deals with all the provincial sports organizations. He's done a lot of work in the last 3 or 4 months. I'll ask Glenn to stand up for a second, if you don't mind. This is Glenn Smith. Welcome, Glenn. Paul Roberts is in charge of food. Barry Colbert is Friends of the Games. That's the sponsorships. Dion Park is medical services. Paul Tilley is promotions. Tom Walsh and Neil Marcotte are sports, venues, and integration. And Brad Pitcher is our games manager. Leslie Ann Vardy is our events coordinator. And Patricia Sullivan is our administrative assistant. So that's the host committee.
Hi everybody, just want to say a big thank you to everybody who came out. I never dreamt of this in my entire last couple of weeks. We wanted this evening now, this presentation is actually going to be on our website. Because we're doing green games, environmentally friendly, we didn't figure printing was manual, good for everybody. Save the trees. A couple of things here now, just a few important volunteer information that we wanted to pass out to everybody. Obviously, one, drugs, alcohol, and smoking. Now, part of our policy manual, we have put together the 2014 Newfoundland and Labrador Winter Games Host Committee as a zero tolerance policy towards any alcohol, illicit drugs, and tobacco use. All venues are designated non-smoking and alcohol-free. Alcohols are asked from refraining from consuming any intoxicants during their shift if there is a reason to believe that a volunteer has used alcohol or recreational drugs. They will be required to terminate their position. Another thing is volunteers. Obviously, we volunteer because we love to volunteer. We love to help. We're doing this not because we're getting paid, but because we want to. So one thing as a volunteer, we have to make sure, and a policy that we have brought in is an anti-harassment policy. And basically, you know, as a host committee, we recognize the responsibility to provide an environment free from harassment for everybody taking part in its activities. The host committee will not tolerate discrimination and or harassment as part of any activity taking place. What is harassment? Harassment means improper comment or conduct, and that is from a volunteer to people, or same thing, vice versa, to people to you guys. So if you guys feel you're in a position and somebody is harassing you, is making discriminatory comments, you contact, I'm going to say, one of the host committee members. Or call the games office, 433 Snow. In the event of harassment or discrimination are alleged, every effort will be made to work with the people involved to find fair and timely resolution of the matter. When we started this process 2 years ago, we had asked for any volunteers that came forward to do a court check and a code of conduct. Part of the reason, obviously, for the code of conduct is to protect ourselves and to protect you guys. We are also taking on a buddy-buddy system so that if at all possible, nobody will be in a one-on-one position with athletes or students by themselves. Anybody who is going to be doing any driving, whether they're on Dustin's committee, shuttle drivers may need to go through the games. If you're a volunteer with this position, Newfoundland and Labrador Host Committee requires, as well as the dealerships, require a driver's abstract. So if you're on Dustin's committee, he will need your driver's license and your date of birth so we can get a driver's abstract. Out at the front entrance when you first came in, there were 2 documents that we need everybody to sign tonight. And one of them is a media release form. You could be on TV. The 2014 Newfoundland and Labrador Winter Games Host Committee shall be obtaining and utilizing various forms of media information, and that will be Richard. And, you know, obviously for the use of future games, because this will be the best games ever. So we just ask you as a host committee to please read the media release form and sign it and give it back to us. When you give us those back, we'll give you a t-shirt. Obviously, and there's a liability as well. You know, 2014 Winter Games Host Committee is requesting a general release, which is also up on the table as well. And if you haven't already got it filled out, you can get it and fill it out before you leave this evening. And basically, it's employees, volunteers, workers, agents, personnel, and or persons under its direct and or indirect authority or control. So please read carefully the general release form and sign it and return it to us, and you'll get a t-shirt. Everybody who's here as a volunteer will be getting an accreditation that says you're a volunteer. So when you go into any of the venues, whether it's you go into the event center, to the middle school gym, high school gym, whether you're down to Riverside watching wrestling, as a volunteer, you will have a badge around your neck that says you're a volunteer. So there'll be no harassment. And as volunteers, you will be fed. So if you guys are in a volunteer situation, whether you're up at the ski hill and you're up there during lunchtime, have no fear, we will make sure you have something to eat. Now if you prefer French fries over at the cafeteria, that's your own. And as we have said, as soon as you pass in your media release and your general liability, every volunteer will get a long sleeve t-shirt. They're bright enough that everyone will know who you are. We do have some people coming from St. Pierre and Miquelon, and obviously if anybody has, can speak French better than me, or moi, we would appreciate any help, whether you're doing high school French immersion, but there will be other languages, and if that is a specialty of yours, you can step forward and let one of us know. When you come as a volunteer for parking, we'll be obviously using the parking at the middle school. That will be, as well, you'll be signing in at your shift. That's where you'll come in every day into the main atrium, and you'll get your volunteer, I forget what I call it, but anyway, badge. If for any reason you're not able to attend your shift, give the 433 Snow, the Winter Games office, give them a call, and if at all possible, you know you can't make it and you can have someone else attend on your behalf, perfect. Now the weather. Snow or shine, the games will go on. So you're expected to show up at your designated site regardless of the weather. We are depending on you. There is no such thing as bad weather, just badly underdressed weather. There will be a media center at the main atrium. When you sign in for your duties for the day, we will also let you know that if you have someone who comes to you from CBC, NTV, the packet, where the media center is going to be, and right now, Richard, the media center is going to be down at the College of the North Atlantic. So, some medical and safety information. To assure our volunteers have a safe, enjoyable experience, be safety conscious. Do not attempt to do something yourself if it will be easier to do as a pair. Dress appropriately for the weather and task. Wear your comfortable, warm footwear. Drink plenty of water, which we will be providing. Prevent dehydrating by carrying a bottle of water with you at all times. If you require any medical attention, proceed to an on-site medical person, and the medical people under Dion will have special medical attire. If an injury occurs, make sure you report it to your supervisor or your committee member. Another thing, just with regards to medical and safety, is kind of, it's a safety aspect, but it's also for cleanliness. Just as an example, the main atrium, volleyball, volleyball and basketball will be going on at the middle school gym and the high school gym. And we have requested that all footwear be removed outside and to bring an extra pair of shoes with you because the mud and the salt and the sand is going to be atrocious. If anybody has any special needs or any special concerns, whether it's a dietary or allergies to food, please let us know. Now our volunteers, you guys, are the face of our games, the ambassadors of our town. Many people who have attended the games have never visited our exciting town of Clarenville before. So we want to leave all visitors with a wow factor. They will be coming back. Make as much eye contact and smile at participants. Say hello and welcome them to the Clarenville Games. Ask them, how can I help? Or ask a simple question, is your child participating in a competition today? Most importantly, ensure that all our young athletes feel great about their day by congratulating them on their achievements. They're all winners just by being here. We understand that you may not want to work in certain volunteer areas, and if you do have any requests, please let us know. There are some links. We will actually send out these links to you guys, that on a regular basis, current information will be updated during the games. One of them is the www.clarenville2014.com and the town's website of clarenville.net. As I had stated earlier, we have those forms out front, and we would greatly appreciate those forms to be filled out. Some may have already filled out those forms. If you have, you don't need to do them for the second time. And my very last sign-off is I really want to thank you guys for being here this evening, because I can honestly say, without you guys, we could not do this. Thank you.
Thank you, Caroline. We're almost done, actually, so like I said, we're going to have some questions and answers for the host committee. But I just want to say a few words about the comment Caroline made about how you coach people and stuff like that. Well, as a volunteer, whenever you all the people coming into our town, you're going to be representing yourself, the way you act, the way you speak, but you're also going to represent the whole community. So we would like to, we want to re-emphasize too, as what Caroline said, how we'd like for people to act. I went to Sherbrooke in August for the Canada game, and I could not get over the hospitality that was presented. People had a constant smile on their face. When you went to blow somebody, open the door for you. They're always asking how you're doing, how you're enjoying the games, and this has made you feel at home, made you feel welcome. And that's the kind of thing we want to try to do as well. I think Clarenville, I was in Corner Brook 2 weeks ago for a volleyball tournament, and one of the coaches from Corner Brook said, Clarenville always does a great job putting on sporting events. I think Clarenville has a reputation already of that. But we want to enhance that, and we think this is going to be one of the best events ever held in Clarenville. When you travel away, you often have an impression. And many people here are taking their kids to different towns and gone to different sporting events. And you might have said, like, the people in Bay Roberts are like, I won't answer it. You may have an opinion on them. And you went to a tournament over Corner Brook, and you said, the people in Corner Brook are like, so you got to remember that when they come here, as Caroline said, some people are coming here for the first time, some have been here before. But we're going to go back, right to the rhyme with an impression. And so what impression do we want that to be? People in Clarenville are racist, lazy, stupid. I'm sure I'll get that. But our view as a host committee is that people in Clarenville are active, engaged. This is one of those active towns in Clarenville. All you have to do is look around and see people walking and jogging and taking part in basketball and volleyball and skiing. And it's an amazing community. And I think people want that impression left. So all we're asking is be yourself. We have fantastic community and fantastic people, and smile and engage people. Some people may be tired, they may come from a game, they don't really want to converse with you. That's fine. Just say how you doing, I hope you're enjoying the games, and they may engage in conversation with you. But they may say, fine, thanks, and on. That's because they have other things to do. That's great. But at least you're being engaged, you're going to go a long way. So, I'll ask Brad Pitcher to come down. He has a few words to say about the game. I didn't introduce Boo, by the way. Boo is our mascot, as the people probably already know. We've had a lot of different inventions over the last 2 years. Many of you probably been there and saw them. Boo is one of them. And we've had one-year countdown launch and various other things. So you're going to see Boo all around during the week, appearing in various different places. Okay, Brad, take it away. After Brad finishes, again, we're going to open it up for any questions and answers you have, and hopefully the host committee or Brad can answer them.
To reiterate Greg and Caroline, from a host committee standpoint, we can plan as much as we want, but volunteers are really going to be the driving force behind the games. The big thing when people come into our office is, what can I volunteer for? So I know a lot of people around this room have spent countless hours already volunteering, but I just want to throw out some things, so if you're still interested, you still don't have a job, some things you can do. So Richard and Paul are in charge of media, communication, and promotion. So essentially for the week, we want the whole province to be able to see the games. So whether it's Facebook, Twitter, posting things on our website, taking great pictures of the games. So if anyone's interested in photography, so I'm sure everyone's on social media and interested in that, these are the people you want to talk to. Rod Nickel, Neil Morcott are in charge, and Tom Walsh are in charge of sports. So if anyone has any experience in a certain sport, whether you want to be a scorekeeper, minor official, major official, you want to do some score sheets, you want to even help clean the floors, that's an option. Dustin is in charge of transportation, so anyone that wants to stand on dispatch, do some driving around, help with some moving of sports equipment, anything like that, Dustin's your man. Paula's in charge of food. Obviously, logistically, that's one of the toughest things to feed 700 kids for 8 days. If anyone wants to help out with food service, help them clean cafeteria, any of those things, you can talk to Paula. Who else is here? Dennis Sullivan's in the back corner. Dennis is in charge of entertainment and our VIP hospitality suite. So if anyone wants to help with the supervision of the public leagues, we're going to have to move chairs into here and turn this into a theater, same as a movie theater. Dennis is your man. I thought I saw Mr. Hardy around. The biggest challenge we have as a host committee is turning a school that's going to be a school until 2 o'clock on the 28th into an athletes village by 2 o'clock on March 1st. So we need to move all the chairs out, all the desks out, clean out all the classrooms. So on February 28th at 2 o'clock, it'd be great to see all you guys get there and bring your buddy. And same thing on March 9th, we need to put it all back together. So if anyone doesn't have a job and you want a job, feel free to pop into our office from the Remax building across from Coastal, or you can send an email to our office, info@Clarenville 2014. Again, huge thanks guys, it's going to be a great event. If anyone wants a job, I'll find them. Thanks.
Caroline mentioned that we didn't print off the manuals, and we're not going to assume that everyone has perfect access to the internet or anything. So if anybody wants a paper copy of the manual, don't hesitate to ask. Just call the office and we'll print off a copy, or drop into the office and you'll get a copy immediately. Okay? So I'm not going to assume that everyone has easy access to the internet. If you do have access to the internet, we would like you to familiarize yourself with a website. Everything is easy to follow. Clarenville 2014. Associate 2014. So you want to look it up, www.Clarenville 2014. Our Facebook page is Clarenville 2014. So you want to look up that and join that. We've been studying that since I'm that now daily for the last month or so. And you get lots of updates on that as well. The other reason why to update yourself on the website, you'll find a lot of information there. And that will help you right away to answer questions. So for example, if someone comes up to you and says, I'd like to go for soccer. Where would you recommend to go to soccer day? Well, we'd like for you to recommend that you go to one of our sponsors. You know, you may have a favorite restaurant, but if you know who the sponsors are of the game, you prefer it to recommend one of our sponsors. Our sponsors have put a tremendous amount of money into the game. We have to thank them. Without the sponsors, the game wouldn't take place. And most of the restaurants have sponsored, but some haven't. So if you go to the website, you can know the sponsor of the games. That's an example, right? So you familiarize yourself with that. I will say at the end of when the games are all over, we do hope to have a big party as a big thank you for everybody who came out, and hopefully it'll be a real shindig. So obviously there's a lot of work on into this, and everyone deserves a good little hair down the party after. So you can look forward to that. I'm not sure you picked up on what Caroline said. I want to remind you everyone again one more time that we made a policy that you can't wear outdoor footwear into the venues, not the event center and not the bowling alley, for example. Well, I guess you can't go on the lanes with outdoor shoes, but for the main reason is because the time of year is the snow. We could have hundreds of people going into the gym regularly, in and out. It would be an absolute mess. In addition to that, as soon as the events are over, probably 6 or 7 o'clock, a lot of the athletes are going to be going down to the gym for activities. So they won't have time to clean the gyms up in between that. And the next morning it's just going to accumulate. So, as volunteers, if one of the things, one of the tasks you're doing is working in the gymnasium, please bring indoor footwear, or you can go your bare feet if you want, but or bring indoor sneakers, slippers, wherever you want. Brad mentioned about Friday afternoon about the desks and chairs. I can't reiterate that one as much as possible either. Between the middle school and the primary school, there are probably 700 children. And so we had to get 700 desks out and 700 chairs. We need all those chairs for opening ceremonies. It's a big task. The desks aren't heavy. They're not the big desks I said in all the school where the chair and the desks are just a small desk that way, and then you have these plastic chairs. So if everybody here tonight came, we could probably do it in half an hour. 700, if you have 300 people show up, you take 2 chairs each, and it's done. Half an hour, done. Friday afternoon, the people got to couple off. We're hoping that most of the students themselves will move the desks and chairs down to the front entrance. We have transport trucks all lined up to store the desks in while the games are on. But the big issue for us is Sunday morning. Because the students will be out of school, and they won't be there to put the chairs back. And on Monday morning, they go in and go back to school. So we have to have the classrooms back like they left them. So if you could all possible, on Sunday morning, March 9th, and they all leave at 9 o'clock. So around 10 o'clock or 10:30, if you could all come by then, within half an hour, we have all the desks and chairs back in school. If 50 people show up, it's going to take 2 or 3 hours. If 300 people shows up, it's going to take half an hour. So that's if you do nothing else that week, you can show up that Sunday morning and they'll be back. That's a big job. So that's pretty well the event for tonight. You have some more food out there, of course, and coffee. The hope is that you're going to stick around and mingle. So now I'm going to open up for a question and answer period. If there's any questions you want, and we're happy to, I'll probably direct you to which host committee is doing it, and I'll answer the question for you, Dad or whoever. Don't be shy. And worst case scenario is if you are shy, we'll go out after, and when you're having coffee and donuts, we talk to one-on-one. But if you ask a question now, the advantage of that is everyone hears the answer. So we prefer you ask it now in front of everybody, right? Where's the main stage?
Opening and closing ceremonies are going to take part to everyone's right in the Clarenville Event Center. Reason why is we're hoping it's not, if it is snowing, we can't have it outside. It's going to be a rock concert type atmosphere, Eastern audio, as every bell and whistle that they're going to bring out, lights, lasers. It's going to snow during the ceremonies, and Eastlink's going to be broadcasting it live. So that's our best place for it, and it's going to be a really good time.
Where outside is going to be?
Oh, okay, by the far end, down by the Zamboni. Todd?
Primarily, that's where our main power supply is down on that end. From a flow of people coming in, that's where it really kind of has to from an exiting perspective. So, yeah. Any particular reason? All on that.
Tickets for the ceremonies go on sale 12 p.m. on Thursday.
Obviously, I don't know, well, I'm saying obviously, maybe not. We had part of the kickoff to these winter games is we're actually having a torch relay. The torch relay is going to go through Clarenville on February 27th. Nancy or Lee, would you like to give them a little bit more information? Want to, or?
So the torch relay is going to start down at Clarenville Twin Cinemas at around 1 p.m. on the Thursday, the 27th. Essentially what we're going to do then, we're going to have a little meeting in there, a couple of speeches, and then the torch relay is going to run from the Twin Cinemas up until the school. So we have 20 different runners that'll be running probably 200, 300 feet. That's going to 200-300 meters. The packet is doing a story on the 20th, and it'll show everyone that's going to be the torchbearer and where they're going to be. So we want as many people during that time to go out on the side of the road to support your friends, families, people you may know, and we're hoping to the roads are going to be lined right up to the school, and then at 2 o'clock, Mr. Churchill is going to plan a little pep rally for a last little bit of promotion before the games.
I'm sorry, but speaking as a teacher of many of the little children at Riverside, is there any way that Torch could start there? Or come by our school? We can't see it the next week. But I'm just throwing that in there. Send one of your little kids your next winter games.
I agree. I know that Ms. Funk has been talking to Mr. Windsor, and I don't know if a portion of them are coming or all of the folks are coming. Nancy,
we are planning a special little relay for Riverside. Okay. So it is important that those children feel like they're part of the game. So we're looking at on the 24th having a little mock relay at Riverside on Dolphin 2. And there's also, we're hoping one of the grades will get to go.
unfortunately, for anyone that doesn't know, Riverside will be opened during the week. So we will have wrestling and table tennis taking part at Riverside, but the school will be open.
We have been updating on different various social media. Like we need a big call out for, like you say, that day of we're actually doing whole calls.
Could you just repeat, for the purposes of everyone back here, could you repeat the question back before you answer it?
Sure. Stephanie wanted to know if there will be something like if we need extra volunteers, will there be something listed out to know if, you know, to let people know we do need extra volunteers? Because we've been using social media to the best of our ability. And we will use this Clarenville 2014 website as well as the Clarenville.net. And if we have something that we really need a bunch of people volunteers for, whether it's changeovers, moving desks, etc., it will be listed on those sites. And feel free to come on, more the merrier. More hands make less work. And it will go to the database of volunteers as well. Okay? Now, in talking about the media releasing papers, found out actually they're all gone. But if we haven't, you know, we can get more. We ran out. Part of, as Greg mentioned, with regards to sponsors, one of the main sponsors, or we had a sponsor for our t-shirts. And if you're not a sponsor, you can still be a sponsor. It's never too late. Anyway, we would just like to really thank Home Hardware who volunteered. Anything else, Mr. Goodman? Any other questions?
Just repeat back the question so we can all...
He was asking about if we get the information out via an app with the cell phone. Our website actually is in a mobile version, so everything that goes on our website and our social media also goes to the mobile version, which is it's not necessarily an app logistically to figure that out. We're not computer programmers, unfortunately, although I tried one day. So everyone, if you're on Facebook, Twitter, and just on our website, whether it's your phone, your iPad, or your computer, we'll be updating that hopefully by the minute during the games. We will have people at all of the venues. She was asking about signing in. If the main hub is in the middle school, the atrium, that'll be the Athletes Village, and where the majority of the sports will take part. If you are in a different venue, there will be someone there to greet you whether it's sign in, tell you where you're going, whether it's a sports convener or someone from our volunteer committee.
I have some questions regarding working accommodations. I don't know if I should direct this to somebody else or rather than like, for example, when I'm working security 12 to 6, Tricia will do some, by the way. Who's allowed upstairs? Are parents allowed upstairs? What about kids moving from home to home? Are
Okay.
boys in one area, the school, and girls in another?
Great questions. The middle school and high school will be the athletes village, like I said. So boys will be in one, girls will be in the other. Our numbers just came in, so more than likely in our first half, girls will be in the high school, boys will be in the middle school, and then we're going to switch just based on how the numbers go. The high school has a larger capacity. The kids will all be sleeping upstairs, so no boys will be allowed upstairs in the girls' village and vice versa. For security, it'll all on your ID tag for volunteers. There'll be a sticker there. If the sticker will mean someone has a code of conduct. So if you don't have your code of conduct in the vulnerable sector, you can't be upstairs in the athletes' village. So,
Who would I call? Oh, I got a list of questions.
Perfect. Let's go.
So if I'm working up there, then who would I call? Somebody gets very sick in the middle of the night. Who do I call? Their coach, their parent?
The coaches will be there. What we suggest is we will have people working security, like I said, and there will be a security supervisor for every shift. So whether it's that, or Viewers Ambulance are also a sponsor, so we can call an ambulance, bring the athlete and their coach right to the hospital. The coach will have all the medical forms and medical information, so the coach's responsibility to bring the child down. We also have courtesy vehicles sponsored by Kia and Clarenville Ford, so we can take the kids with their coach over to the hospital. And Dion's committee during the day, the medical committee is made up of nurses, doctors, physiotherapists, chiropractors. They're going to be in really good hands with that.
And say somebody does get ill in that, is there going to be somebody to contact for cleaning, or I don't mind cleaning if I have to, if somebody's ill, but I'm just wondering where would I find those things?
That actually came up last night. We're part of one of the volunteering. What we're trying to do is come up with what I call a maintenance staff. So during the day, the janitors and caretakers at the school will work their normal hours, but we're going to have to, obviously with the large number of people, we're going to have to need some volunteers to subsidize that. So if anyone wants to be part of the luxurious maintenance committee,
we're having some kind of training before the games begin.
Yes, sort of. Exactly that. Like Tony and Todd were saying, Mark is in charge. Mark Alstom is in charge of security. There's a few of his members. Nolan's there. Constable Haynes. Carm. Mr. Baker. Anyone else there that I'm missing? So they're all on the security subcommittee. So they're going to be your point of contacts during the week for anything security related. Mark has a little slideshow developed with different security protocols, what you do for this, what you do for that. So anyone that is volunteering for security, it's just a short couple-minute thing that they'll show people before the shift.
Right.
Yeah.
This might not be an issue, but every athlete we go to a couple tickets a guarantee for parents that they'll bring closing ceremonies?
Unfortunately, everyone that's here is volunteer that we'd love to have tickets for. Everyone that's coming from St. John's, from Gander, from Labrador.
We went to Grand Falls last time. Every athlete had 2 tickets for opening, and if your child was in opening ceremonies, you got 2 tickets to go into opening ceremonies. But is it first come, first serve, and some parents not get in?
It is first come, first serve, because if we gave every athlete 2 tickets, that's our capacity. We have 1,000 seats, I believe, at the top, that we can sell. Because, based on where the stage comes out, we have 1,000 seats. In the second half, we have 707 athletes. That's 1,400 tickets right there. So, unfortunately, the tickets will go on sale at 12 p.m. tomorrow at the, or Thursday, Thursday the 20th. And that's the only way that we thought was fair for everyone for the province to have same access.
Yeah, so while we went to Grand Falls, in Grace Sue's package, she had 2 tickets for her parents to come to the opening ceremonies. I don't know the purchase, that doesn't really matter, make a difference, but like that leaves the parents got in, because you might have spectators that nobody involved in opening ceremonies is going to come just want to watch. And there's some athletes parents are not going to be able to come in. It was, you know, you do the first one to consider like that.
Unfortunately, as it stands right now, they're all going on sale on the 20th. Yeah, I appreciate you coming, but
Are they for sale online, or is it just
just through the box office. So whether you want to come here and line up or call into the number. So luckily, people in Clarenville do have the benefit that you can come to the box office, and you call into 466-4105 extension 222. Exactly, yeah. Tickets are $13, taxes in and surcharge. And we will have extra staff on the phones for the demand. I bet there's about 1,000 tickets. Yes. 6.
Is there any way that can be used to give more people more opportunity, or is that it?
The biggest thing related to that is we try to keep a consistent policy here. So most of our events, it is 6. The reason why it is 6, you get a lot of families that have brothers and sisters. We run into it with Riverside shows, whatever we're doing here. If we limit it to 4, it's hardly ever enough because the grandparents or whatever. It's we're the bad guys here. We'll take the heat on it, but it is limited 6.
I was just thinking that you know, it would be nice for parents to be coming, it's nice for grandparents, but if then a child may have no parent in the audience. So I was just thinking for this type of event, that's like that.
That'll be different, but there's what we find is that they're getting a lot of people that buy for their friends.
I know, and that's very frustrating sometimes because you'll get one child will have grandparents, parents, brothers and sisters, and one child will have no parents. And I'm just thinking of an event like this that, you know, with people buying bulk tickets like that might be more fair to the
That's from our perspective, we would be the 6. As the host committee advises, messaging is gone.
Anyone else? Anything? Yes, no one.
We're looking at having our security training orientation next Thursday. Next Thursday.
Next Thursday?
But they'll be contacted.
Okay. Everyone hear that? Security is also one thing that we do have a bit of a gap for our volunteers. We have about 70% of our volunteers right now. 24 hours a day we need volunteers there. So if there's anyone that's courageous and likes Red Bull and will stay up from 12 in the night till 6 in the morning, come look for us. So do we want to break off now? So folks, what we'll do now, there's still some tea, coffee, desserts out there. If anyone wants to come forward, grab your t-shirts.